Hello everyone, welcome back. Hope you're all having a really nice week. I'm actually going to be doing this real time when you're watching this. If you're watching it the day it comes out, which is hopefully today, Thursday, I'm filming this today. It's the morning and I'm planning to literally film, edit and get it up. That is my game plan for the day. So if it's Thursday and you're seeing this, she did a good job. She did good. And I'm finally going to do the Q&A that I've promised. And a lot of people said that they really wanted it for me to answer as many questions as I can about pregnancy, mum life, babies. So if you're watching this and you don't have a baby, I still hope you enjoy, because I used to watch videos like this before I had Ocean anyway, because I just, you know, when you like your favourite YouTuber kind of thing. So maybe you're watching this and you just got a cup of tea and you've got a nice peace and quiet behind you. Enjoy it. But I've been really excited to do this because I just feel like I do have this kind of like mum audience now. I was talking to someone about it the other day. I feel like in a way I've found a new audience. However, I forget that obviously my audience has grown with me, and as I've got older, the people that watched me when I was 19, you guys are older as well. So you guys are all having kids and so am I. So let's talk about it and have a little bit of a discussion. These are obviously all going to be my opinion and things that are working for us, and everyone's different. I hope you enjoy it. And before we get started, I'm really excited that I have a really good discount with HelloFresh. They've really kindly sponsored today's video, and I have a little snippet of Cass making me dinner the other night, which I'm going to put on the screen. But if you followed me for a while, you know I'm a huge fan of HelloFresh. I've been a customer of theirs for coming up to 3 years, and it is an honour to work with them because we literally have them in our life every single week, and I've used them since I moved out. They honestly do just make life so much easier. They have new yummy menus every single week. It's always chopping and changing, because I know some people get a little bit bored with repetitive meals. So you don't have that with HelloFresh, and you can pick how many meals you need, how many people it's for in your household. That is the main thing for me. It's convenience. You don't have to think about when you need to fit in a food shop. It literally is just dedicating 5 minutes to sitting on your phone and picking your meals, which I actually find quite exciting as well. They've actually given me the best discount I've had yet, so you really need to make the most of this if you've been thinking you want to try out HelloFresh. It's 60% off your first box and then 25% off your next 8. I've never had it for the next 8, it's normally like the next 3, so make the most of this discount. The code is SMC60HF. I'll leave it on the screen, I'll leave it down below, and if you click the link, I think it's already automatically applied, but just double check, and yeah, try your new lifestyle. It makes life so much easier, I promise you, especially more so if you're a mum. I promise you, it will just take off that weight of needing to go for a shop, and it will just make, especially the summer holidays if you've got older kids, so much easier. Here it is. So I only actually have one story up at the moment, and this has 100,000 views, so there should be quite a lot of questions on here. I think I'm just gonna go at random. I really am gonna try and do as many as I can, but I always say try and keep them short and sweet so it's not boring, but let's be honest, I don't know how to do short and sweet. These are literally gonna be in no particular order. I think I'm actually just gonna go through, because otherwise I'm just gonna miss things. So, how have you found adapting to life with a baby whilst doing the job you do? So I think before I had Ocean, it's quite hard when you do a job that's online and working from home to separate personal life and just everyday life and the job. By no means am I saying it's like a really hard job, but at the same time, I think it's harder than people think. A lot more hours go into it, and it's really hard to kind of switch off. I'm constantly thinking, like, when I do anything, even with her now, I'm like, I could be making content out of this, because that is how in life you do grow on these apps, especially I find TikTok. So even when we're getting ready in the morning, the social media content side of my brain is like, I could be doing a day in the life right now. I could be filming us getting ready, and it will probably do well, because it is these kind of day in the life normal things that do well personally for me. So it is hard to not always feel like I could be doing more. And also, as she's getting a little bit older now, she's 4 months next week, she wants a lot more attention now. when they're newborn, obviously they can kind of just sleep a lot more and they just are happy to lay there because they don't know any different. And now she can't just sit there, she will be squealing at me, she wants my attention, she wants someone to be playing with her. And this is where people with normal jobs have a maternity leave and they can obviously separate their work and give 100% to their child, where I'll be honest with you, I've had to text Kelsey today, Cass's sister, to come around and be with Ocean so I can film and get some work done, because she can't just sit with me now because you will just hear nothing but squeals. And I did just have to stop the camera because she was screaming, and obviously I am her mum and I want to be there when she needs me. So it's something that I'm gonna have to get a little bit better at, but it's gonna just have to be having a lot more structure and saying I'm gonna do a couple of hours each morning and let her have that time with other family members and go for a walk or play with them. And especially when Cass is at work as well, we're just gonna have to have a better routine. But yeah, I wouldn't change it, and I love that I can work at the same time. I feel very fortunate, and I did go back to work pretty quick. I think I did my first campaign back when she was 2 weeks, but that's just the way I am. I am really lucky where I do get to work from home and I don't get to miss out on anything with her as well. So there's pros and cons, but it's something that I'm still definitely navigating. Did you have any cravings with Ocean? So I might be double answering questions because I feel like I have answered a few questions in the past when I was pregnant even. So cravings, I don't think I actually had any. I just was ridiculously thirsty, so I drank a lot more water, and I always needed it to be really cold, and I don't really need that in normal life. Like I can drink like lukewarm, not lukewarm, but like room temperature water, and I needed it to be ice cold. And also I loved cake, and as much as I still love cake now, I would be thinking whose birthday's coming up so I can order a birthday cake. So I'd say they were probably my two that stand out, but I don't think I ever had cravings as such where people were like, I just needed to suck on a sponge. Like I never had that. So I don't know, I wish I did. I wish I was like craving pickles in the middle of the night kind of thing, just to say I experienced it, but I really didn't. Someone's put, isn't it weird that you made the choice to be on social media, yet you didn't give Ocean that choice? I have different angles. I look at this myself, and obviously when she was born, straight away, we had to make the decision, do we want to share her? And until she can talk, I am making decisions for her. That is what it is. It's just life. And with my job, it just felt right at the time. Right now, it does feel right. I still say to people now, I could change my mind. When she goes to school, I might change my mind, and I'm so open to the idea of that being a possibility. But part of me thinks if I were to hide her, would that give people motivation to go out of their way and find pictures of her? Because I can't control family and friends to an extent posting pictures of her. I've seen people find pictures of her that my family have posted on Facebook. Obviously I can't control everyone around me. If one of my family members that's not my immediate direct family posts a photo of her on her Facebook and their account isn't super private, and then someone ends up seeing it, what can I do? So I think right now, whilst we're in control of it, we put out what we want of her. And I do think she's such a baby right now where if we do change our mind, it's okay. I think it was Jen Atkin, the Kardashians hairstylist. She did a TikTok and said how she was so happy to share her kids when they were babies, because you change so much from being a baby to an adult. If we decide in 6 months that we don't want to share her anymore, she could probably go to school and people wouldn't be like, oh, I know you from your baby pictures, if that makes sense. So I do feel like we still have time on our side to change our mind, and maybe we will, I don't know. But right now, I feel like we don't share a bad amount. I like the idea of having the memories, and she's in some of my videos. She's not in she's not in every single piece of my content. But then at the same time, I do love sharing her. I'm so proud of her, and she is me. Like, she is my life, so that is my stance with it right now. But if it gets to the point where she ever says she doesn't want to be on camera, that is what is going to go. That is how it's going to be, and it's something that we'll just have to wait and see how that goes. Newborn baby must-haves. So I do actually have a story up that I think I put in my highlights, so let me find it quickly. Right, I have a list, so I'm gonna read it out. I might have forgotten things. If I do, I'll put it on the screen, but these are things that I swear by. I actually, when I posted this in May, and I was sitting with Cass at the time, so these are things that we both agreed on. So nappy caddy upstairs and downstairs, or just one that you're happy to take around the whole house. If I was being super extra, I probably would have one in every single room. I just think it's easier to, well, what room you're in is, sometimes you just don't want to go upstairs and change the baby. You want to just get it done there, then and there, in the room you're in. So definitely I'd say in the bedroom for at night, and then in wherever your lounge is, a nappy caddy with obviously nappies, wipes, bum cream, and we always have like a spare dummy or like a muslin in there. White noise machine. I remember thinking, do I need a white noise machine? Could I just have it playing off my phone? But we take this little circle white noise machine everywhere with us. I'll link it in the description box, but just find one on Amazon. It has charged for so long. I think the battery, once you've charged it, it lasts like 48 hours. So we literally could have it playing. I feel like I can constantly just hear white noise, and it is a godsend. Literally, we take it everywhere, and it really does just drown out background noise. She can come out with us in restaurants and have a nap. Out walking down the street, it drowns out the noise of the cars. So swear by that. Docker tot, obviously make your own decisions. We found it quite nice to have just on the sofa when she's sitting with us when she was tiny, just in case for whatever reason she would fall. We know that she's in like a bumper. Big muslins. I think we have about 10 to 15 on rotation, which obviously that might seem excessive, but it just depends how often you want to be washing stuff. We use muslins so much. That is probably my top item, muslins. We have bibs, but we don't actually put bibs on her that much. We just find it easier to put a muslin under her chin when we're feeding her. Baby grows with feet and mitts. I just always had mitts on her when she was little, just because they do tend to scratch their face. They don't really know what they're doing. They say like they're not aware of their hands until a certain age, and also they get quite a bit colder than us. I remember a midwife said to me, and it stuck with me, when they are newborn they should always have one extra layer than you would want to wear. So right now, obviously she's not newborn anymore, but I'm at a good temperature in this jumper and leggings, so they'd need one more layer, so obviously she'd have a vest underneath. So you just gotta remember one extra layer. Moses basket, I swear by a Moses basket. You don't have to spend loads of money. It probably costs £30, the one we got from Aldi, and we used it until she like grew out of it. Best thing ever. We had it next to us. I will be honest, we bought quite expensive cots. I feel like we had it all. She didn't care. They don't care. They don't know price tags. They just want to feel comforted and enclosed. They've obviously been in a womb and it's very small, so the Moses basket was good and that was her favourite. And then blankets with holes in. I think they're called cellular, but it's just peace of mind. We never have, touch wood, had a situation where she has pulled it over her face, but we always tuck it under the mattress, and we do just have one with holes in for peace of mind. I know some people like to have monitors and heart rate machines, and I really did think I would end up being that mum because I'm just a panic pants, but do you know what, I actually have always slept quite fine whilst I know she's next to me, and we haven't needed anything. I do have a monitor now because she's starting to do like naps on her own, but still I just don't think you need a monitor because they are literally always within eyesight when they are newborn. And I think that's it for now. If I think of anything else, oh, there's a nappy cream I'd really rave about. She had quite a bad bum rash not that long ago actually, and pseudo cream done nothing, but Panthem was okay. That'd probably be my second option. And then Cass's mum's friend recommended that we try the Neil's Yard Barrier Baby Bum Cream, and I was just a bit like, it's just gonna be like pseudo cream, like, okay, but I'll give it a go. It literally cleared it straight away. So we literally religiously use that now. I swear by it, it's so good. We've just finished a tub, we need a new one. So good, swear by that. How long was it until you took Ocean out for the first time? I don't know when it's right. So there's no right or wrong, it's when you feel ready. We did actually go out, I think for a walk when she was like 2 days old. Actually, so we went out the next day because we had to go to A&E because we had our day 1 midwife check. So the midwives will come, I think this is the same for everyone, it might be different in different counties, and they could see she had jaundice and they just wanted us to go and get it checked in the hospital. So when she was, I think, 32 hours old, because I remember the receptionist saying, I think this is the youngest baby we've ever had in to A&E, and yeah, I think she was like 32 or 36 hours old. So that's the first time we actually left the house with her. But then like going out off our own accord, we went for a walk on day 2 and people were really shocked, but I just wanted to get out, I wanted to get some fresh air. It was exciting for us to put her in her pram for the first time, and that was just a walk. And then day 3, I remember we went for some food because we live quite near the town, so we walked into town and we had some food. She was good as gold. They just sleep when they're newborn, and that's what felt right for us. But if you want to stay at home for 2 weeks and not move, do it. It's honestly when you want to do it. Is Ocean good at going into her own cot, or do you co-sleep? So she's always slept next to us in, we mixed it up quite a lot. So when we first brought her home, I tried her in my fancy cot, the most expensive one that done rock and roll and all sorts. Hated it. Then we had her in, I tried her in the next to me crib, which she's in now, and that is the snooze pod next to me crib, and she just cried so much still. But I do think, looking back, like in the first couple of weeks, they don't know anything other than to just randomly scream. So you just do have a lot of broken sleep, like waking up every couple of hours. And then Moses basket, and that ended up being the best because she just seemed to, we don't know, again, it could have been that she just was getting used to being in the big wide world, but Moses basket, but everything's always been next to me in bed, so like on my side, because I was breastfeeding her as well, and now she just happens to just be next to me still. Anyway, she doesn't sleep in bed with us, but when she wakes up early in the morning, if it's like 6 and I can tell she's like really giggly and smiley, which to be fair isn't that often, I will put her in bed with us. We do have a Super King bed, so there is loads of room, and she goes in the middle, and I always wake Cass up first and I say, Ocean's in bed, be careful. But then I'm never in a really deep sleep from there anyway, but I know she will doze back to sleep because I try and get her to stay in like sleepy mode until at least 8 AM. Otherwise she'll just be cranky. Follow your gut, do what you think's right. They obviously recommend that they stay in their own bed and not in bed with you, but I'm not going to be that person to tell you what to do. Follow your gut and do what you think's best for you. Did you ever feel as though Ocean had colic? Did you use anything for it? So I don't know if you remember, I posted on my story, I think when she was about 2 weeks old, that I thought she had colic. And I can't remember what indicators we thought, but I definitely don't think she had colic. I think it's just kind of thrown at you all these things that in the first couple of weeks it's so overwhelming. You've got health visitors coming in and out your ears, midwife appointments, this and this, and everyone is saying like, look out for this, look out for this, and it is so overwhelming. And something people kept saying to me was colic this, colic this, colic this, and one day she just would not stop screaming, like high-pitched scream. And obviously don't do it. I googled like the thing she was doing and it straight away come up colic, so I thought it was colic. And there's a lot of things that they're not allowed to have at just 2 weeks, because a lot of people were telling me to get gripe water, which you can't use until they are 1 month old, which we still to this day have never used. We've just never had to, because again, I don't think she's ever had colic. They say colic's more common with formula babies, and she was breastfed until she was 7 weeks, so maybe it's that. I don't know. I don't really know how it works, but I know people said Infocol's really good. We did use it for a couple of days when I thought it was colic, but again, I just think we would just use it for the sake of it. So the 2 things people told me were gripe water and Infocol. Best and worst bits of pregnancy. I'd say the best is the scans. They're so exciting. It's really nice to have something to look forward to with the scans, and I highly recommend a 4D scan because you get to see what you think they're gonna look like, and feeling them kick. At first, I'll be honest, I found it quite odd, and I think Cass the whole time found her kicking really strange. It is a very like alien feeling, but in the end I found it quite comforting and never felt lonely kind of thing. Worst bit, probably thinking you can carry on as if things are normal, as in I go to do things and I'd be so tired, and in my head I'm like, I feel fine, because I was quite lucky with my pregnancy. I didn't have too many symptoms, as in sickness and any bad things really, other than just exhaustion, because that just is inevitable when you get to the end, like you're so big. And I would plan to go shopping for the day and I just wouldn't be able to do it, and it was just frustrating thinking in your head like, I feel fine but I just can't do it, I'm so tired. I was really lucky, I'll be honest, so there wasn't too many worse bits. Maybe like the last 5 weeks you can't go on holiday. But no, honestly I was really lucky. I'm very grateful. PCOS. How did you know you had it in symptoms? So I get asked, I'd say daily in my DMs, about polycystic ovaries, how I felt pregnant, and not to like plug my own videos, but I do really go into depth in my fertility video, which I will link down below, or just type in fertility Sydney Crouch on YouTube and I literally go really in depth on there. I feel like it's a topic I can't really skim over too much, but I had polycystic ovaries, as in PCO, not PCOS. That's the first difference. But if I could give one bit of information, if you have any form of polycystic ovaries and you feel like you don't know enough, speak to your GP first, your NHS GP, and if you feel like you're not getting anywhere with them and you do feel like you can see a private doctor, then I would say it's definitely worth it, because sadly in life you do get things quicker if you pay for them. It just is the truth of the matter, and I got a lot more answers a lot quicker by going private. Giving birth, is it terrifying and how did you deal with it? I think everyone's so different. I've never heard the same birth story, and I have obviously said that my birth was quite painful, but I don't ever want to scare anyone, because mine will be completely different to yours. It's one of them things, as hard as it is, you just have to kind of wait and see and just hope for the best. We have another Barbie anytime soon. There's quite a lot of these. I have no idea. I think if I had to answer right now, I'd say probably in like 3 years. No rush whatsoever. We really want to enjoy her, and I'm not that fussed about having them back to back, because I know people are like, oh, they'll be really close, but we both have sibling. Well, Cass has it both ways, so he's like a year apart from Kelsey, so they're really close, and then he's a few years apart from his other sister, and then really far apart from his older sister. And then I only know my brother, and then I have a half sister, and we all have the same age gap, which is 4.5 years. We're all really, really close, and same with Cass and his sisters. So I don't swear by having to have this like 2 under 2 situation. I just think right now we're just really enjoying her, and there's no rush at all. How is Ocean sleeping at night time? So again, if you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen me talk about it, that I think she's going through like a 4-month sleep regression, which is very common. It's very up and down. 2 nights ago she slept for 5 hours, a stretch of 5 hours, which was just insane. We both woke up like, oh my god, what? It feels like that for us is like a whole night's sleep. That's like what my 12-hour sleep used to be like. And then last night she was waking up every 3 hours, and then some nights she'll wake up every 2 hours. It's so hit and miss, and I know it comes down to routine and sometimes luck if you have a baby that just sleeps well. I personally think it is that sometimes you are lucky. I met up with a friend yesterday and she's got a 2-year-old, and she just said she didn't have to sleep train. She didn't have to really have a massive strict routine. She just got really lucky, and her little girl is an amazing sleeper. So yeah, she's 4 months nearly. I was never expecting miracles. I cannot believe how I've transitioned. I used to be one of them people that could not function with less than 10 hours sleep. I used to literally lay in bed like, am I definitely gonna get like the amount of sleep I need? And now I can function off next to no sleep. It's mad how you just adjust your life for a baby. But it is what it is. I'm not gonna panic right now. I think once she's like 6 months, if she's not sleeping much, then we might have to implement some kind of stricter routine and give it a whirl. But right now, she's a baby, and yeah, we're trying our best, but I have no tips. I have no tips. What breast pump did you use? Would you recommend it? So I had the Medela Freestyle pump, which I think is their newest one. I really liked it. I don't have anything to compare it to. It was freestyle in the sense where you can walk around the house, you're not plugged into anything, but it's still quite cumbersome. It's quite big and bulky. It wasn't like discreet. I know there's some like, I think the LV ones, they just slot in your bra, but I've also heard that they're not as powerful as Medela, because Medela are known to be hospital grade. But where I'd never tried, it's not like getting a new foundation and you've tried so many that you can compare. I had one breast pump and they are expensive, so I had nothing really to compare to. It's not like you're going to go out and buy 5 and test them all out. I'd definitely say maybe go on YouTube, and there are people that specialise in testing out these pumps and saying what's the best. Obviously the best of the best will probably have a price point to back that up, but yeah, or TikTok's amazing. Just type in best breast pump. But I liked mine. It did a good job, and I feel like I got quite a lot when I pumped from that. But again, it's sometimes down to how much milk you produce. How did you deal with postpartum depression and also your new body? So I definitely didn't have any postpartum depression. I actually don't think I had baby blues either, which again I feel so grateful for. And if you are someone that's potentially going through that right now, or you have in the past, like my heart goes out to you, and I wish it was something that we didn't have to go through as women. But I was fully ready for it to hit me, and each day I would kind of wake up like, do I feel okay? Like almost pinch myself like, am I just in this bubble? Because you are in this newborn bubble. And obviously I can't speak from someone that's been in that position, but I have friends that have, and my friends were amazing, my ones that have had kids, because they know what it's like, and they text me all day every day like, just checking in, like if you want to ring me and cry, it's okay. And I almost felt a bit broken because I felt so fine. I remember being like, is it okay that I feel fine? I even said to my health visitor actually, because they do check in, that's part of their job, they're like, is everything okay? Like, how are you feeling mentally? And I was like, I actually feel fine. Like, if anything, I feel really good. And they were like, that's good. That is a good thing. Like, don't be worried that that's happened, but like also be prepared that it could be like a delayed thing. So I was very aware that it could hit me at any point, but I do think I swerved it, and I feel so grateful. I'm so lucky, and there's nothing I did to avoid it. I think it's just one of the things, like, you get it or you don't. I just think it's really important to obviously have a good amount of people around you, and like they say, it takes a village to raise a baby. Just be open to taking the help. Looking back, I feel like I probably could have said yes to more things. Like, you do feel like, I think as a first time mum, you're like, no, I want to be able to do it all. I want to be this, just the woman that wears all the different hats, like be able to do everything. And you don't get a medal for being able to say you can do it all. Like, you might as well take the help if it's there. In that sense, I didn't really get it. And then new body, I've just started working out again. I'm taking my time with it. Obviously, if I could be back how I was before, I feel like when I was breastfeeding, I was back in my old body and I was fitting in all my clothes. And then as soon as I stopped breastfeeding, I'm not even just going to blame breastfeeding. I have not started eating healthy yet. I literally ate what I wanted my whole pregnancy, and still up until now, and she's 15 weeks old. I'm only now starting to think I need to start making changes if I'm starting to work out. Like, obviously you need to eat well as well. I'm grateful for what my body's done. I know I've gone up a couple of sizes, and would I change it if I could? Yes. Is it a like be all and end all? Do I sit and cry over it? No. It is what it is, and obviously I'm not in the mood to completely fix up yet, and that's okay. How is mum life? Is it how you expected it to be? It is much better than I expected it to be. I think I personally always tend to hear the bad more than I hear the good. So someone could tell me a sentence and it could have a positive and a negative, and I'd probably focus more on the negative because I always try to prepare myself for the worst. And I think in a way it is a good thing for me. I know that's not the case for everyone, but I am always ready for the bad. But no, it's been amazing. It is amazing. She is amazing. I feel like she is quite a challenging baby. She's not challenging, but I can already see she's going to be very strong-willed. She's very loud. If anything, she's like a mini me. So I can't complain. Literally my family like, she's you. Like, she literally is you. So I do think we're going to have some hard times on our hands in the future where it's probably going to be us against her, and she is like the little boss of the house already. But yeah, it's the best thing ever. You can't explain how amazing it is until you're in that. And I remember people being like, you just don't realise how amazing that feeling of love is, and you can't. I literally didn't even realise that this amount of love existed. It's crazy. Random question, struggling with what sterilizer to get for the man bottles. So I think man bottles is a really good choice. We tried quite a lot of bottles. They were definitely our favourite, and you can actually sterilise the man bottles yourself, as in just with them, they're self-sterilising. Just type it on YouTube, this is what I did, how to self-sterilise the man bottles. You literally like take them apart, put a little bit of water in the bottom, put them in the microwave. But obviously it's not the quickest. Well, it is. No, I would say it is the quickest, but we have just got in the habit of using our big sterilizer. We had the Vital baby one. I love it. I'll link it down below. It is a little bit pricey, but put it on your baby shower list. We actually got it as a gift from Cass's mum, so we didn't have to buy it, and it's one of the best things we've been bought. It's so handy. It's really big. We can chuck like, I think 5 or 6 bottles in there, and it has a drying mechanism on it too, so you can literally just wash them up, chuck them in there when they're wet, and they dry and sterilize, or you can just press sterilize or just dry. And also it's a storage thing too, so once the bottles are sterilized, we just leave them in there until we need them. I swear by it, I think it's the best. It's quite big and bulky, but it's not forever. You miss pregnancy or any specific part of it? So I don't really miss it, but I liked dressing a bump. I think everything looked cuter with a bump. That's probably all I miss really, because I think the best part is the baby's here, and that's obviously what you're longing for the whole way through your pregnancy. And I feel like everyone's really nice to you when you're pregnant. Like, obviously people give up their seats and always checking on you, but no, I much prefer after. Hospital bag essentials, I will link my TikTok down below. I done a hospital bag video, and if I can find the direct link to that, I will link it as well. There's a lot of things. I actually did a video where I reacted to it and said things that I actually used and what I didn't use, so I'll link that down below. A lot of questions about our relationship, like me and Cass, since having a baby, and if it's affected, if it's better, if it's worse. So I think obviously it's going to change, but I think you just have to communicate. That's all it is. Like, there will be some challenging conversations, but it is literally you becoming a team and having to sit down and be like, right, we need to come up with a plan, we need to talk about this, and not like taking things out on each other. Like, I spend a lot more time with her than he does, and there was days in the beginning where I would be like, you get to go to work and you get to leave and I'm with her all day, and like I'm here for the good, the bad, the ugly, and he kind of like can drip in and out, but I think that's just natural with whoever's going to be going out and working. Obviously if I was leaving the house for work at some point after a maternity leave, that would be the case for me as well. But it's just life, and just both splitting the jobs is important, because you don't want to feel like you're being overworked, and like just giving each other, I think it's communication. It really is. Like a few weeks ago I said I just need a little bit more sleep, and there's been a few times now where he's got up with her in the morning and let me have a lie in, which is just like the best thing ever. And that's like my love language, is like acts of service, and just him giving me them couple of hours is just like, that speaks volumes. That is like my love language, do you know what I mean? So I just think it's just, you learn so much about each other when you have a baby, and yeah, I definitely think it makes you stronger. Well, it has for us personally, because of the communication element. Like we've had to discuss things that we've never discussed before, and like you come up to these bumps in the road that are challenging, and that's where I think you either crumble or you work through it. So I would just say just communicate. And I think the question was, how is our relationship? Our relationship is really good, but I can see how having a baby can affect your relationship. I really can, if I'm being completely honest. It's hard. It really is hard. And yeah, that's why I can't emphasize enough. Just communicate, and just remember the good outweighs the bad. The good times are so much better than the little bad things, and other than that, it's a dream. Life's a dream. I don't know how people do it with like 3 or 4 kids, so ask me then. Right, I think I'm gonna do one more, because I've done this in parts because I keep stopping the camera because it's saying it's overheating, but I don't know how, because it's not even warm today. Where's the good weather gone? It's July. Also, I said I'd answer a couple other questions that aren't baby related. I actually haven't, but I'm just gonna have to maybe I'll make this like a series and just do a couple of these every so often and try and answer as many as I can. Tips on getting through the difficulties of the newborn stage. It's not gonna last forever. They're a newborn for 8 weeks. I miss the newborn stage. You'll miss it. It sounds so silly because she's so young still, but Montana Brown, one of my friends, she's just had a baby, and I think he's 4 or 5 weeks now, and every time she posts a picture of him, I'm like, oh, miss it. Like the little scrunch, like you will miss it. It sounds crazy, and you think you're living in this repetitive, sometimes it feels like a black hole, because like when you're stuck indoors and it's just like a cycle of just eat, sleep, poo, milk, like it's just like, you're like, is it ever going to end? The cycle ever going to end? But I actually didn't find the newborn stage that hard. I'm actually finding it a lot more challenging as she's getting a little bit older. Like I said, they need more entertaining. They just need more of you, and that's when I think I could possibly like see myself just becoming like Ocean's mum instead of Sid. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to lose myself and just be like, just only function for her. That's what I really am gonna have to like just get used to. It's just a completely different thing. Whereas when they're newborn, I still feel like you do have a bit of time to yourself. That might sound crazy and you might be like, how? But I don't want to say it gets harder. Everyone finds it so different. Personally for me, I found the newborn stage not too bad. And I think as she gets older, I'm going to find it a little bit more challenging. But just enjoy it. Put films on. Enjoy the fact that you can lay around and people are waiting on you. Because that does end up like dying out. And people aren't like popping in as much and saying like, do you need anything? Like, do you want me to do any washing? Or like, because like make the most of it. If people offer to make you food, take it all. Take it, take it, take it, take it, take it. Oh my goodness, I'm actually gonna have to stop recording because my camera keeps flashing and it just went off and said that it's overheating, and I'm scared it's gonna blow up. So I'm gonna stop there. I was gonna stop anyway, but thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope I answered some questions. I hope I made things feel maybe a little bit normal. Just remember, everything you're going through is completely normal, and if it feels like it's really not normal, reach out, speak to a friend, family, a GP, anyone. message me and let me know if you want to have a part 2. I feel like I didn't get through hardly any of the questions, but it's so hard to just answer things quickly, me being me, and also just I want to be as helpful as I can and as honest as I can. But anyways, I will see you guys in my next video. I hope you're all doing well. See you soon.